Hi, everyone. How are you? And welcome to the Mental Health Warriors. I'm Annette Chiappe, and my show is the Power Hour of Self-Care. And today I have with me Kerry, who is our warrior queen, also a fellow warrior. So I hope you enjoy our chat. It's all going to be about mental self-care, about our mental health and ending the stigma around mental illness. And our topic today is going to be what Kerry's going to introduce on when I come back after the intro. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Hi, Kerry. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I was enjoying our brief conversation before we came on live. It's so amazing, the connections all us warriors have together, looking and helping to end the stigma of mental health.
Yeah, well, we've all got our own stories, our own backgrounds. So sharing that information together and putting that information out to people, it's going to help end the stigma about mental health.
Yes. So you were going to share with the viewers that the topic about today, what we're talking about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about self-care as a mother and an SEN mother also. We're not just, we're going to focus on mothers, but we've got to put it out there that it's not just mums, it's dads as well. The dads are just as important.
Oh, absolutely. It's all caregivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, because some children obviously don't, for whatever reason, don't live with mum and dad, might live with aunties, uncles, grandmas, granddads.
Right, exactly. Our families are what we make them, and the beauty of it is it doesn't really matter what that looks like.
No, a family is a family, and whatever support network you have around you, that's your family. The Mental Health Warriors is a family.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we were talking a little bit about that and how much I love you guys and for bringing me into this, because me as a mother, it's always that realm of anxiety, not trying to worry about what's going on in their lives, even though they're adults now.
Well, mine aren't adults. Mine are still going through school, so.
How old are your kids? And what are their names?
Lucas is 10 and Tegan is 9, and they both have autism.
Oh, they're beautiful. I have seen a few of their pictures. I don't think you've brought them onto the camera at all.
In the past, I have. They've been on a few shows. We try and keep them away from screens as much as possible, because obviously they're still growing up. I don't want them exposed to the internet very much. YouTube is about it. That's all. That's the only exposure they have at the moment.
Yeah.
Watching educational videos or Minecraft videos or Lego videos or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you monitor their viewing hours, because I think a lot of reasons why we're hurting so much with mental health is that we're not interacting with each other except through a screen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we do try and connect with the kids every day, as much as possible. So we'll shout the kids and we'll say, right, let's have a family game. And recently it's been, let's have a family game, and the loser has to go for a shower first on family shower night. So it's and we make sure
that's so cute.
Yeah. And we make sure that at meal times, there's no technology around us. It is just we sit together, we eat together, and we talk. So it gives the kids chance to then ask us about anything they want to ask us, talk to us about anything they need to talk to us. And of course, they can always come to us and say, I need to talk to you. Now, they do that.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know, I tried doing that with my family as well when my kids were young, but there's a large gap there where I had been estranged from them. So that'd be another show about my mental health. But the quality time like that, like sitting down and letting kids be able to speak about what's going on, is just so important, because I didn't get that chance as a kid growing up.
Yeah, no, neither did I. I mean, I grew up with 3 brothers and 2 sisters, so the household was hectic. So I never had that one-on-one time. So to have that one-on-one time with my own kids, it is so important.
Absolutely. So actually, Tegan has done a coloring for me from one of my coloring books to go in the calendar that's going to come out.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, we showed it to her and she said, I'm going to colour it straight away. And straight away she went for the cat one.
I'm glad she liked it. And I'm so happy she's going to be in the calendar.
Yeah, you know? She took it to school because she had a few mental health sessions at school, and she took it to school, and when she's on break or something like that, she just needs some of her time. She'll get her colouring pencils out of her bag with the colouring book, and she'll just sit on one of the school benches and colour away. There's a few of them. There's a few children that do it. So,
oh my God, I would love if you would write that up for me, that little blurb story, and I would post it in a blog on my website, because that's such a beautiful story about the school looking after the children's mental well-being.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the things that we do like about the school, is the fact that we raised it with him that Tegan's been having some anxiety, and at break times she'll just often stand aside and observe the rest of the children. That could be her autism as well, but it's a bit of a mixture. It's autism and anxiety, and obviously they do go hand in hand. So obviously the school said, well, she likes colouring, and we have a few children that want to just colour, sit and colour at break times. Well, Tegan can join in and do that. And I said, well, yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. In fact, one of my friends has just sent her a colouring book all the way from Canada, so we'll send that with her, and they love it.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's such a beautiful story. I'm going to cry.
No, so I think she's the only school that's got a colouring book from a different country.
Oh, geez. You know, having you on as a mum, I really wanted to understand a lot about like what you go through. Like you were sharing a little bit with me about like last 2 weeks you were having some difficulties with your mental health and you took a little break. So can you maybe share a little bit so we can connect with you about that?
Of course. I think it started. I felt a little bit down, and it was a weekend, and we normally go out and obviously go and do a bit of shopping on Saturdays. And this Saturday morning, it was just, I don't feel right. I don't feel like I want to go shopping, and that was like the first bit of it. And obviously, instantly, I knew, well, that could be my mental health. It could be that I'm coming down with something. So I didn't rule it out straight away. So I thought, right, I need to push myself and just go and do it, because the shopping isn't going to do itself. Yeah. So I went and did it, and I didn't get better. Shopping is normally my self-care. I go out and I go shopping, and it helps me, makes me smile, sort of thing. It just didn't that day. I didn't feel right. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be out in public. So obviously, I came home. We unpacked shopping. We did the rest of the Saturday activities, and I still didn't get better. In fact, I felt a little bit worse. It came to the day before I was supposed to go live do a show with Andrea, and I didn't feel right. I didn't want to be in front of the camera, so I said to Adam, I'm going to pull back and take some time for me. And while I was off, I sunk down even lower. I think it was just I lost who I was. So I was so busy running around. Lucas was at daily tutoring for 2 hours. Tegan had to go to school, then the housework and supporting Adam with his college while doing my own college, and obviously him supporting me with my college. And just all the things that you have to do as a mother and a wife. It just all got on top of me. And it affected me. It did. And I just felt like I'm not me. You know, I'm just running around in autopilot, basically. I'm not living. I'm just doing the daily things of the day, sort of thing. I need to like take some time for me. So I did some extra self-care. Did lots of extra self-care, really. And I've got back into my cross-stitching. And I've done, my story isn't over yet. It's a phase that Adam's got tattooed on his arm that helped me when I attempted suicide nearly 4 years ago. It was a phase that I looked at and I'm like, my story isn't over yet, and that sort of helped me. So I've cross-stitched that phrase, and that really helped me. Just doing something as simple as that. And now I'm back.
And now what? Sorry?
I'm back. So I'm back, doing back to back.
Oh, I'm so glad that you've come on the show with me, because you know, we hadn't had an opportunity yet to really connect as warriors, and but we talked briefly, and you know, I am so drawn to people that are, I don't want to offend you or anything, but the labels that we have, okay, now we have labels for everything. I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. So, you know, I met an autistic girl. Her mom introduced me to her, and she says, oh, she's autistic, but she's very highly functioning, and she's really sweet, and she's going to steal your heart, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I know that. I said, I used to work for an autistic man for 5 years, and I also used to be a nanny for various special needs children. So learning that, you know, you have 2 autistic children, but then to come back to about the labels, like that's a label. And while I was talking to the lady's daughter, somehow the word autistic came up. Well, she spoke up and said, I don't like having a label. I'm so-and-so. She said her name, right? And I thought, wasn't that beautiful that she didn't put herself as the label of autistic? She's just a human being here having a human life experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and it is important. I mean, Lucas and Tegan know that they've got autism, but they think that autism is their superpower. So their autism makes them good at certain things. So with Lucas, he's like a human calculator. I mean, he's 10 years old. You know, right now he should be getting ready to go into year 6, which is the final year of primary school here. Right. So instead, he's going to high school. So he's skipping year 6 completely and going into high school. He can do maths that is college level. So it's way beyond what he should be able to do. He's 10 years old and he can do A-level stuff. So his one-to-one worker for high school has said that he's going to go to approach the maths teacher that's in the high school and get all the A-level stuff. So it's going to work out a structure for him. So he gets a little bit of A-level stuff, but a little bit of high school level stuff as well. He's going to mix it up for him. But he's definitely going to be challenged. And with Tegan, she's so good at imaginary things. So she's brilliant at writing stories. So she made a little character. We went to a pub at one point for some dinner. And she made a little character out of a Lego set that was in the pub for kids to play with while they're waiting for their dinners. And she came up with a whole story for this little character that she just created, and it was absolutely amazing. And then later that day when we came home, she wrote the story down. She's always writing stories. She's an absolute brilliant story writer.
Cool. That's so neat. I believe Adam posted this.
Yeah, they are just for Lucas, the adjustments. Yeah. because none of the other kids that he's going to be in the class with will be doing A-level maths.
Yeah.
They'll all be doing year 7 maths. So
Nice.
going to be way ahead of everybody.
Yes.
Which
That's
is
fantastic. I love that. So that the 2 weeks that you had, what did you give me a description of what it looked like for you from when you turned the other side, like when you went through what you were experiencing and then wanted to start coming out of it? What did that look like?
I think with all the crying I was doing, I was doing a lot of crying. I was doing a lot of just sitting in my bedroom, not wanting to get dressed properly, not wanting to brush my hair. I didn't want to go downstairs some days. It was just a case of I just want to sit in my bed, get changed into some fresh clothes, obviously. And I made the effort to make my bed, but then I just jumped straight back in it, basically. And I'd just sit there and watch a bit of telly, play on my phone. And I got annoyed at myself. I'm like, I'm better than this. And I know I'm better than this. And I know that, I can beat this. And I told myself, I actually wrote it down a few times, this is just a blip. I can do this. And obviously there's the hashtag never quit. That's always rings for me. You know what? I might just get that tattooed on me, so it's with me all the time. Hashtag never quit.
Yes.
Don't hold me to that. I might not.
I believe in taking mental health breaks, but not ever quitting.
Oh no, I never quit. I mean, I told myself that it's hashtag never quit. I know I'm better than this, and it was just a blip. So I started getting myself up, getting dressed properly, brushing my hair, straightening my hair, and obviously going downstairs, making the effort to go downstairs. I mean, I took a blanket downstairs with me just as a comfort sort of thing. But then I slowly told myself, right, I need to start leaving the house now. It took me a while to do it. It took me about a week to do it, but I did it. I got myself to leave the house, got myself out the bedroom and to leave the house in that week. And I think I did a really good job in that week, because other occasions it has taken me longer to do that, but this time it took me a week. So I'm getting better at pushing myself, and the blips are getting smaller and smaller. So
yeah, I can totally relate. Totally.
Yeah.
And so I had a question for you, but it totally now gone out the window. It'll come again. So the when you come out on the other side of that, do you feel any guilt or shame?
No.
Or during it?
No, I think when I'm in that moment and I feel crap about myself, because I'm telling myself, right, I need to do this. I know this is not who I am.
Yeah.
It's sort of me telling myself, this is not me. This is just a blip, and I know that I'm better than this. So I sort of try and I don't know.
Have you ever suffered, like in the past, where you took a mental health break for yourself and felt guilty or shame?
I'm
trying to show viewers the progress we make.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. I'm going to go backwards roughly 4 years. It's nearly 4 years anyway. My nana passed away, and I'd had a few mental health problems anyway up to that point, but I'd never sunk really low to the point I wanted to commit suicide. And losing my nana, she was more than a nana to me. She was like a mum to me as well. So a lot of the values I have, I got from my nana. She was more a mum to me than my actual mum, and I don't have a good relationship with my mum. So when she died, it hit me really hard, and I did struggle a lot with it. And I sunk to the point where I wanted to end my life. As I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to be here. you know, and that sounds selfish as a mum, but the pain of losing my nana and living without my nana, it did really hit me. And yeah, I think to the point I'd still miss her. I always will miss her. But Adam helped me know that, you know, life can be okay, but it's not obviously going to take time.
Yeah.
I mean, they do say that grief takes 4 years. Well, it's nearly been 4 years and it still isn't getting any easier. So maybe it's going to take a bit longer, I don't know. But I think when I got through that, and then I sort of threw myself into doing the Mental Health Warriors, I took a break from the Warriors. I took a week off. I wouldn't say it was a mental health break, it was just a break anyway. But I felt rubbish. I'm like, I've made all that effort to get to the point where I can stand in front of a camera and talk about my story, and I'm now taking a break. Yeah, that point I did feel I shouldn't be doing this. I should be still in front of that camera, bettering myself, getting better, and sharing my story in the hopes that it helps somebody else. So yeah, I have felt guilty.
Yeah. I took you back there for a moment because I think I've had this conversation with other participants, like guests on the show.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is, I think we are part of our own stigma about our own mental health, and that's huge.
Yeah.
Like, why should we feel ashamed if we need to take a break from all the things that we have to do in life? I mean, life, you don't see, like, for example, a lion who's hunting. They take a break. They don't catch the deer that they've been chasing. They, like, you know, they rest. They take a break. I mean, I don't know about their mental health, but I'm sure when an animal's under that fight and flee and freeze kind of thing, that it's an instinct that we have to preserve ourselves by taking breaks.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we all have that instinct. It's like a fight or flight thing, isn't it? So we can go into that fight mode where we just fight through everything, but then there's also that flight mode that makes us feel like we have to take a break. We have to sort of take a step back and be ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
I've just seen Adam's comment actually.
I was just reading that. That's beautiful. He's so supportive of you, and I think that's why this the Mental Health Warriors does so well and is attracting the right people to get the messages out there, because of who the two of you are. Like, you're the yin and the yang of mental health warriors.
Well, I've never been called the yin and the yang of the Warriors, but
yeah.
I mean, both me and Adam have had our own difficulties with mental health. You know, we don't say that, we've had mental health problems, but we've overcome them, we've recovered from them. We haven't. I mean, we still get to the point where we have to take mental health breaks ourselves and focus on us. Because we value the fact that, putting ourselves out there, it's brilliant because it helps it helps attack the stigma around mental health, to share our stories and be us and talk about all the things we talk about on the Warriors. But then we still do have to have that time where we step away from the cameras and be a family, be parents, and be a couple as well. And then we make sure that we balance things out. So we have that couple time, we have that family time, but we also have to make sure that we have time for ourselves as well. We get that balance, because if that balance doesn't work, it causes a lot of problems.
Yeah.
We have to know what those problems are.
Yeah. You're very wise about the whole thing around balance. Like, for me, I think the most important thing with my mental health is always to keep myself in check for the balancing going out of balance. Yeah. Like, if I spend more time just working and not being with my family or doing self-care, then I know what that picture looks like, because I used to always focus on a couple of things in life instead of all the wonderful things we get to do.
Yeah.
Part of that is being a mother. Like,
yeah, I think I learned it from my dad because my dad was always out working really hard to provide for us all, and I would only see him for maybe an hour or two at night times. And and obviously I wanted more from my dad, and he always told me, well, I don't know how to balance things out. I go to work to pay the bills and look after the family and everything like that. And I was always shipped off to my nana's house because my dad worked, my mum worked, and shifting us off to my nana's house was how basically they did it. I mean, there was a point in high school where I'd come home and both my parents were out at work still. I had to wait for my dad to come home and make tea. So for that hour or so after school, I was completely on my own. Obviously, my sister was there, but that was different.
Yeah.
There were no parents in the house, and we were just teenagers, so anything could have happened. Luckily, nothing ever did happen, though.
Yeah. So that's. Did that affect you, like, in the sense of maybe just try to explain to me how, as a warrior, how did you get here? Like, did you? Is the stuff that happened with your childhood that got you to be a warrior?
I think it was a mixture because all the stuff that happened me growing up, my dad left the family house and moved down to Liverpool, so he became basically a weekend dad. And making the trips from where I am now down to Liverpool every weekend, I basically felt like my mum and dad were playing pass the parcel with me. That affected me. And I think that's where the problem started, because I didn't like being in two different households, basically. I mean, I'd go home after school, and because I didn't have a proper relationship with my mum, if I wanted to talk to somebody, I had to pick up the phone. But then I couldn't have those private conversations with my dad over the phone because my mum was always lurking round. So, and then obviously when we went down to Liverpool, I still couldn't have those private conversations with my dad because I just didn't have the space to do it. So for that, I think a couple of years that happened, I didn't have a chance to talk to anybody about what I was going through. So the pressure at school, the pressures of being bullied at school, the pressure of being bullied by my mum, I couldn't talk to anybody. And that really, really helped. That really, really affected me because that's when I started self-harming. And I went through that process. When I left school, I thought I was going to go on to a cooking course because it was something I really enjoyed. My mum stopped me going on that one. And I also didn't have the right grades anyway. I failed. Well, I wouldn't say I failed maths. I got a D, which wasn't quite enough for college. So then I met Adam, and I'd just come out of a bad relationship when I met Adam, and that was one of the first things I told Adam, that I'd been through a bad relationship, fully expecting him to walk away, but he didn't, and he sort of helped me. And I think it was up until when I lost my nana, then I hit rock bottom and I attempted to kill myself. That's when the warrior was born. It's got to be that bit. It took losing my nana and hitting rock bottom and attempting to end my life for the warrior in me to be born. I'd been through all the shit and I'd come out the side as a warrior. So
would you say that your view as a mother, the things that you were lacking in your childhood, you want to have available to your children?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I never had a good relationship with my mum, and I always said before I was a mum that if I ever had a daughter, I'd know what not to do. I'd know what sort of relationship I'd want to have with my daughter. So obviously when I found out I was having a daughter, I shit myself. I did. I did. As soon as she said it's a girl, I'm like, what? I fully expected it to be a second boy. I did. You know, and it took me a few days to process the fact that I'm gonna have this little girl, and I'm like, what do I do with a girl? Sort of thing. Then I started looking back as to what I had happened to me growing up, and I figured out that okay, I know what not to do. I know what sort of relationship I want. Obviously, I can't throw myself into that sort of relationship just yet with her as a baby. It is going to have to be as she gets older. So I've always kept it in my head. I know what sort of relationship I want to have. I know what sort of things to not do with my own daughter, and I've put that into practice. And I think that Tegan knows that if she needs to talk to me about anything, she can. She can openly come and say, Mum, I want to talk. If she wants to talk, I'll sit and talk to her. You know, she knows that if I'm sat on the living room settee playing on my phone, if she comes to me for a cuddle, she knows I'll chuck my phone and I'll give all my attention to her instantly. She knows that. Yeah. We always make a point of saying to them that they are more important than anything else. You know?
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
I mean, even if we were on the Warriors, if they came downstairs and touch wood, nothing ever happens. Even if we were doing this and they came downstairs, they cut themselves or something like that, I'd go straight away. I'd be like, I've got to go deal with my kid. I've got to. You know, they know that. But thankfully, nothing like that has ever happened. They are safe. I mean, you'd think with a boy with autism, because he's got no sense of fear, you'd think that he'd have broke his leg or done something dangerous by now, but he hasn't done. So maybe being a teenager, that's going to happen, but he's got to take his own.
It doesn't matter what age they are. If something, it's like,
By the time I was 10, I'd broken 2 bones.
Oh my God! I'm so grateful I've never done that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've broken my leg. I've broken both legs. I've broken my arm. Broken my hand.
Oh jeez! Ow!
I'm one of these that, you know, even with a broken leg, I was still playing football.
Oh my God!
Like, well, you had to. It wasn't every time I was saying about something.
What was that? Like my sister-in-law, Kerry. My sister-in-law, she went out and she went skiing this year, and some guy whammed into her and sent her flying. She had a broken collarbone and a broken hip, and you know, she couldn't get in that kayak fast enough. She had to get all healed so she could get back in her kayak and back on the ski hills this year. And she's got kudos. I mean, like, you know, that's like, you sound like her.
Yeah, I think one of the funniest memories, I'd already broken my arm, and we had some skips across the road that were like on the grass across the road from my mum and dad's house, and even though I'd broken my arm, climbing on top of them and doing front flips off them, it didn't stop me doing it again.
Oh my God!
You'd think don't do it again, but I went back and did it again.
I think the most risky thing I do is get on the back of a motorcycle. I love the motorcycle.
Yeah. No, well, I've never been on a motorbike, but I have been on a horse and fell off. That hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But I didn't break a bone, thankfully.
What?
I didn't break a bone that time.
You broke up there for a bit. What?
I didn't break a bone when I fell off the horse. Thankfully.
Oh, you didn't. Okay. No. Sometimes with the internet, you get those little cuts, and it sounds you miss a word.
Stupid internet.
So
technology these days.
So what were you able to hand over to Adam for the care of the kids when you were going through your depression?
I think he did everything. So all the household jobs that I would normally have done. So he normally does the school runs in the mornings, and while he's on school run, I'll sort the kitchen out, do all the morning jobs, sort of thing. But then while I was going while I was going through that bad patch, credit to him, he did the school run, he'd come home and he'd crack on and do all the morning jobs as well. He fell behind a little bit on the washing and drying, but I wasn't bothered about that because we got caught up again once I was better.
There's, when there's our mental health in need for attention and TLC, we got to make our priorities, not the laundry.
No, I think the main thing was Tegan's uniform. That was it. That was the main thing. Just make sure Tegan has a uniform for the next day. That's it. That So now, I didn't want me being down to affect Tegan's schooling.
Yeah. So now Adam needs a mental health break because he has to recuperate from the time you were down.
Yep.
That's so cute. So
your kids? Go on.
Sorry, I was gonna say. He says I was the good little housewife, haha.
He was.
So do your kids ever talk to you about mental health or vice versa?
Yeah.
Oh, share with me that, please.
Yeah. So obviously Tegan has anxiety. So in the mornings, there has been mornings where she struggled to get out of bed, and she's basically said that she doesn't want to go to school. And we've had to bring the school up and say she's having a bad morning, so she's going to be late. And they've put it down to health, which is fine. And then there's been days where we couldn't get her to that point where she wanted to get dressed, so we've had to bring the school and say she's having a mental health day.
Yeah.
They can tell us about attendance, and I'm like, look, end of the day, right? She's got a therapist for a dad that understands mental health is more important than education, because if her mental health is not in the right place, she isn't going to function properly in the classroom.
Absolutely.
So obviously we know better than the school at that point. So Adam took her out and had afternoon tea that day, and the school tried to say it, but you should have been in school. So we fired back to the school and said, well, hang on a minute, her mental health wasn't in the right place, so no, she shouldn't have been in school. So it was just one of those things. Adam planned an afternoon tea to try and basically cheer her up and give her something to smile about, and it worked. Sometimes we have to do those things. I've not had any mental health chats with Lucas. He understands when mum needs to have self-care, or when dad's having self-care, he knows to leave us alone and have that self-care, because they both know how important self-care is. And we make sure that the kids themselves have at least 20 minutes a day self-care.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, but we're
already
installing it in them now that self-care is critical for their mental health. Not just for mental health, for themselves and people as general.
Yeah. I start to feel it if I go too many days without coloring. My mental wellness is maintaining my coloring every day and journaling every day. Some form of exercise pretty much every day, and trying to eat healthy. I know exactly the minute I'm not in keys when I start feeling the anxiety and everything come up. And I'm working with my kids who are adults. Like my oldest is 35, and always talking to them about doing some self-care. And usually they end up crashing and burning a couple of times before they realize, oh, I need to do some self-care. I don't think I didn't raise them since they were very young, but I don't think their father taught them those kind of things. And, self-reflection, meditation, all those things to keep kids grounded and happy.
Yeah,
run out and jump in puddles.
Yeah, Lucas Tegan know about crystals. So both me and their dad have taught them about crystals, and we have crystals in the house. So, if they feel like they want a crystal, they know they can go and help themselves to a crystal, and they know they can carry that crystal around and it'll help them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they know that. And they know that if they need a little bit extra self-care, they know to say, right, okay, I'm going to go have some self-care.
Yeah. Well, that's good to know that you have that.
Yeah, because obviously it's one of those things that if you don't take some time for yourself, you know, it might not be mental health self-care, it might just be self-care in general, you know. Focus on yourselves. Take yourself away from technology. Focus on yourselves, because if you've got a really busy life and you don't take that time for you, you know, even if it is just 10-15 minutes at night times when the kids have gone to bed as an adult, and you sit there in front of your favourite television programme on Netflix with a glass of wine or something, or whatever, or even if just a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, you know,
Right.
taking that time for yourself.
Can we share Adam's last comment?
Yeah.
I wanted you to be okay with it. But you know what really stuck out in his message? It was that I was denied that opportunity growing up. And you know what? God love that he shared that, because I had the same thing. Like, it sounds like you had a little bit of that from your mom. And this whole thing about ending the stigma, I think a lot too has to be around, like, it's generational. It's so generational. Like, my parents' generation was telling your kids, you know, be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
And that gave me such a stigma about myself that nobody wanted to do anything with me but see me, and I never speak up. And yes, and Elizabeth shares here, inner child healing. And I'm so grateful that the generations, I think there's more and more generations realizing our kids are such a beautiful thing. It's like, but there's so many people damaged from previous generations that they don't look at children the way you or I look at children.
Yeah, I mean, thing is, there's a lot of stigma around mental health. I mean, there still is a lot of, if you've got mental health issues, do you really want to talk? Do I really want to talk to somebody or reach out to somebody because I might get judged? The stigma is still there. I mean, I talked to my niece. My niece has been going through some mental health problems as well. And she came and spoke to me and said that I'm the only one that she can talk to because she can't talk to her grandma, which is my mum. You know, and I basically said, well, I've been there. Everything that she's going through now, I've been through that. But I didn't react the way that she's reacting. She's turned to cannabis. I turned to self-harming.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in a way, smoking cannabis, it is a form of self-harm. Drugs aren't good for you. They're not. You know, and I've told her that there's only so much I can do because of my mum being around. There's only so much contact I can have with her. But I've told her to reach out to the school's mental health team. Whether she has done that or not, I've not heard back from her. So,
this is your mother you're speaking of?
No, this is my niece, my brother's daughter.
Oh, your niece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does your mother is still alive?
Yeah.
Does she have visitations with her grandkids?
With my 2 children, no. But then my brother had 4 children, his 4 children taken off him. And 2 of them landed in my mother's full-time care.
Oh.
So, yeah, so all those things that happened to me growing up are now happening. History is repeating itself with my nieces, basically.
So is the one niece that's affected with mental health, is she with the care of the grandmother?
Yeah.
Even more reason for her to watch these shows that we talk about.
Oh yeah, she knows about. She's 15. She knows about the mental health warriors. They both know about the mental health warriors, and they both do sometimes tune in. So.
Oh, I would love to talk with her.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get her on the show. Not till after she's 18, anyway. Once she's an adult, maybe. But while she's under the care of my mum, there's not a chance.
Oh.
It is one of them. It's going to have to be when she's an adult and she can actually break free from my mum. That's when she'll start opening up and start healing.
Yeah, but you talk to her all the time.
Well, I talk to her as much as she wants to talk to me. So obviously, I don't force the issue. I let her come to me.
Yeah.
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 Because if it's
Well, I
forced,
wish her,
they
I wish her
won't talk.
so much. I wish so much happiness for her. I mean, I, and probably all the warriors that are talking about it, a lot of this stuff came from our childhood. So, I mean, I hope she finds something that gives her some self-care.
Yeah. Yeah, so do I. I mean, she tries to stay out the house as much as she can to stay away from her
Yeah.
mum. So maybe that's her self-care, just not being in the house and being around her friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, in the next few years, she can obviously break free from her mum and begin her own journey. I mean, she is going to need a lot of counselling. She is. So, touch wood that she just
Maybe she'll end up becoming a warrior like us.
Maybe. Maybe one day my niece will join the team. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a beautiful butterfly flying around here.
I like butterflies.
Yeah, I do too. So, what's your favorite thing to do for self-care? Are you into arts?
No, I meditate. So I do like meditating, but then I'd
Do you
also
do a
like
meditation that is with somebody speaking or in silence?
in silence. So I'll just lie flat on my back on my bed, listening to relaxing noises or a meditation video on YouTube, and that'll help. The other thing I like doing is listening to songs. So there are certain songs that if I feel myself dropping, I know if I listen to the song a couple of times, it'll pick me up.
Yeah.
So there is that as well.
Those are your two favorites, eh?
Yeah. So what's your favourite?
Coloring. Dancing.
Have you got any other favourites?
Pardon?
Have you got a second favourite?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I would say dancing. Dancing would be my top second favorite because I love to write as well, right? But when I go out dancing, it's like this whole different world. I'm in this universe of my own.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Same with singing. If I'm in the mood to sing, and everything that comes on, I'm happy to sing. Yeah. It was one of the biggest things I turned to growing up, being alone in the house so much. I used to sing and dance and fantasize.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've all done that with a hairbrush as a teenager.
Yeah, something fun like that.
Yeah. I think we've all done that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what do you and Adam have planned for the rest of the evening? You got another show. Tell us a little bit about that.
I am on with Andrea Evans, another fellow warrior, at 8:00 my time. Yeah. And that's what? Is it 2:00 or 3:00 USA? 2:00.
2:00. Our time here would be 7.
Yeah. So it'd be 2:00 in America. And we're talking about the dangers of bottling emotions.
Oh, that's a great topic. Yeah. I hope people who are watching now can stick around. If not, they'll watch it on the replay, right?
Yeah, definitely. Stick around. Yeah. I'll be back in about an hour. So I'm going to have 10-15 minutes self-care between shows.
Well, I think we've had a fantastic conversation today, and a couple more ideas have come up to have future conversations with you. And I want to congratulate you on everything that you do as a mom with not just one but 2 autistic children. But whether I applaud you that you're doing such a fantastic job of not like breaking the cycle from how you were raised with your mom, and now you're incorporating what you were lacking into your children without beating them over the head.
Or there's been days where it's like, but you know, you just got to take yourself into another room and be like, sort of thing. But you know, reach for a bottle of beer or something like that. But you know, I don't know how Adam stopped drinking in this house. I don't know, but it's not something I want to
do. So Adam earlier he says, "Are we going to hear Annette sing on the Warrior TV?" And I'm like, maybe when I grow a set of them. You know, but I have a really beautiful song that I could sing that would be really touching for the show. But
brilliant.
Maybe one day.
Just because Adam's done it.
Has he really?
He has, yeah. If you go back to the Christmas shows, he sang Fairy Tales of New York on Warrior TV.
Oh, cool. I have to find that. I'll ask him for the...
I'll find it for you and I'll send it to you. He's telling me no, I'm like, yes. He's like, no, yes. You know what? I'm completing it. I'll find it.
Okay, well, give a hug to your kids for me, Kerry. And a hug to Adam. I guess he's a big kid, yeah.
It's like having 3 children in this house sometimes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I live with 2 men that are 65 and 89, and they're both like kids all the time.
Yeah, men don't grow up, I don't think.
No, never. Okay, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. Let me find the ending video. And I'll let you go so that you can get ready for your next one.
Yep. When my mouse decides to wake up.
What's that?
My mouse decides to wake up.
Yes. Okay, thank you everyone for watching, and please like and subscribe on the Mental Health Warriors. You can follow us on Facebook and also on YouTube under the MH Warriors TV. Have a great one, everyone. Bye for now. Bye, Kerry.
Bye. Bye, Annette. See you later.